Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313. Before I even talk about anything we might talk about tonight, Teresa Ruckel, I still need you to get a hold of me. Jeff Simpson, Horgarth, I think is your name on here. I have your stuff packed up. It's getting shipped out tomorrow. I have Teresa Ruckel's helmet set right here next to me. It's ready to get shipped out tomorrow. I'm missing an address. If we get to 30 Super Den members, I'm going to have to make a tough decision. So I want you guys to make it hard for me. If we get to 30, maybe we do 2 helmet raffles. If this is not claimed, I'll have no other option. So Teresa, it's already been a week. I'm not rushing you, but we got to get this stuff shipped out. So Will, what's on the menu for tonight?
Oh, I'm in the same boat with Greg Kellogg. Hey, Kirby Joseph football. It looks good in my man cave. I'm looking for a forever home for it, though. So, Greg, I'll just put you in the same boat. Give me a shout out. Facebook, Instagram, all of the things. Twitter, X, whatever it's called, all the things. Give me a shout. Let's get this thing to you.
What are we talking tonight? Well, what's the Detroit Lions related content that we're going to be talking about?
Hey, so there's been a lot of prospect talks going into the draft, a lot of training camp talk, just preparing for training camp. Guys we're looking forward to seeing and whatnot, but we haven't given our number 1 or number 2 or top guys that we're looking forward to seeing in camp. So I say today we sit down, we have a conversation about who are we most excited to see at training camp? Who is like the apple in our eye? Who is a guy who was just on our mind heavy? And I'm going to leave it to you. Kick this thing off, Steve. Who are you eager like a beaver? You see what I did? You see? It's flowing. It's flowing.
Well,
hey, who are you eager to see? Yeah. I'm a lyricist, but let's keep it to Detroit.
That's a nice word that a lot of people would have botched on the spot like that, and you did very, very well. I don't want that to go unrecognized. A lyricist. I want to see. Man, I think like the most jacked dude in the facilities has to be the training staff. I'm excited to see them guys just not have any work to do for a little bit after what we went through last year. Those guys got to be just roided up, man, just from hitting the gym and doing all these workouts and personal training. So I think if we throw some shoulder pads on some of our athletic trainers, we might mistake them for some Penei Sewell type players. I don't know, but off the top of my head, and that he wouldn't really be on my radar if it weren't for what happened last year. But for me, it's Aiden Hutchinson. I just want to see how he's recovering from that leg injury. I know he's been posting his workout videos, his rehab videos, showing off some stuff. And every time we see something, we're taking a look at that leg to see how much weight is he putting on that thing? Is he cutting off that leg? Is he doing football moves on that leg, or is this just kind of for show and to get the people excited? So I think when training camp kicks off, that's probably my number 1 guy. He wouldn't probably be my number 1 in a normal season, but coming off that injury, I just want to see how he's looking. Is he looking like the old Hutch? Is he looking dominant, or is it someone who might take a couple weeks to really get his motor back, get the juices flowing, some good practices? I don't want to see him in any preseason games. Well, wrap that man in bubble wrap. All right. Don't put him out there on a field in a meaningless preseason game. But practices, I know you got to practice. We can't just keep him on the shelf all off season. So that's why I'm most excited to see. Who's your guy?
Now, first things first, I'll say about Aiden. I like to see him get the competitive juices flowing, but I don't need anything crazy out of Aiden. I know what I'm going to get out of you in the regular season and postseason. I know who he is. I know what he's about. So I like the whole bubble wrap thing, but I'm willing to wrap him in bubble wrap right now. hey, do your thing with the training on the side and making sure your legs prepared and the rest of your body's prepared and ready to go. And then after that, let's just get you to week 1.
Red jersey.
Strong. Yeah, damn near, man. Hey, listen, I don't need to see too many reps. Like maybe when we do the cross practices with different teams, man, I know we'll have somebody come in we do every year, or we go to them. But outside of that, man, I don't need to see anything crazy out of him. He already knows the speed of the NFL. I got no questions with Aiden, man. Just get to week 1 and get into the season, and let's go have 20 sacks. But for me, I got 2 guys. One is my real guy, but the first one is my honorable mention. And I think it could get controversial because, Steve, I took a little bit of time. We took the day off yesterday, and just even throughout the day, early yesterday, I took some time and I watched. Let me not overquote here. I watched all 24. 2-4. I watched all 24 Broadic Martin regular season snaps.
24. Jeez, you could put that on a continuous loop, and your computer wouldn't even have timed out. It would have been so.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm excited to see Broadic Martin come into camp. He's a guy who we've been, I feel like, critical of, but it's year 3. I'm looking for him to take a step forward. I do feel like last year he took a step forward. He came in with his body transformed, similar to Aleem McNeil, the way Aleem McNeil did. Truly prepared in the offseason like a professional. I'm expecting that he did the same thing. I was digging, trying to find some social media posts, trying to find some training posts. I couldn't find anything, but I did see an article where he was talking about getting with DJ Reader. The thought of him getting with DJ Reader really excites me. He also talked about in that article, dang, I wish I could remember who wrote it, man, because I would give him a shout out. I hate it when I do that. But he also talked about in that article the fact that throughout last season, even though he was not active most of the season, DJ Reader was getting with him in the meeting rooms. He was teaching him all types of things from different hand techniques, leverage, how to prepare in the offseason. I'm expecting Broadic Martin to be bigger, badder, stronger. And when I watched those 24 snaps, there were some things that I've already talked about, like goal line situations getting pushed around a little bit, not always winning a leverage battle. But there was some great things too. I seen him get double teamed multiple times and hold his ground, man. I seen guys trying to double down on him and then just ricocheting and bouncing off of him. He's a large human. If he figures it out, he's going to be a problem. So, Steve, how are you feeling about Broadic? Is there any movement, or are you still done with Broadic Martin?
William, can I clear the air first?
Yeah,
sure. The very first thing you said was this is going to be controversial. I don't think there's any controversy. That's your opinion. If that's what you want to see, that's what you want to see. I don't think that this is like a debate show or anything like that. So Broadic Martin's on my radar to watch. I think there has been criticism. I think most of it has come from me. I know you're higher on him, but last I checked, he's still a Detroit Lion. He's still on this roster. So I'm cheering for him to be good. I want to be wrong. All right. I'll come on here and someone said, oh, Steve's going to eat crow when Broadic Martin's dominant this year. And I said, I don't plan on eating, but if I am wrong, I will say it. So I'm looking for him as well because he's on my cut list right now. If you were to ask me who's getting cut in training camp, Broadic Martin's name is going to be flying around for me. I know maybe not for you, but that doesn't mean that I'm not cheering for him. I want him to work out. I want him to pan out and be a Detroit Lion for a long time. I want him to be someone on that defensive line. That all offseason, we've had questions about the defensive line and mainly the defensive end opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. But I have no personal issues with Broadic Martin. I'm just not as hopeful as a lot of other people. But if he comes out here in training camp preseason and he's dominant and he's making the coaches make a tough decision, I'm in a better place. I think that's great for the team. It's great for Broadic. It's great for fans. It's great for everyone who cheers for the Detroit Lions. So I don't have anything against Broadic. I want to see him do well. I'm not putting a lot of water into that pail, Will. I just can't buy in fully. But if he comes into training camp and he's looking lean and mean, and I want him to have a mindset similar to what Levi Onwuzurike had last year, when he was doing very well in training camp and, the media was on the sidelines after training camp and he would just walk by and say, sorry, guys, no interviews. I'm just locked in. I would love for him to just be in that type of mindset and have a good year. It's a very good name to bring up because I think a lot of Detroit Lions fans have questions about Broadic Martin. So let's get a look at him. Let's see what training camp has to offer. Let's see what he can do.
I love that you clarified that, Steve, because I wasn't shooting it at you in that capacity, but I feel like a lot of people get into the comments and they're like, why you guys hate Broadic Martin? Or they get on X or Twitter, whatever we're calling it, and they say not nice things. And then we get lumped into with our criticism the really not nice things that they say. And I don't think either one of us ever sat in that boat like he should get cut. He shouldn't even be on the team or whatever. But I do think I can agree with you when say that he is a guy, if he doesn't take a step forward, he's gonna make Brad Holmes make a tough decision. But I think that it's gonna be a tough decision because I don't think Brad is gonna want to have to eat crow either. Because if Brad does cut him, he's got to say, hey, listen, we traded up for a guy who was projected as a 5th, 6th round pick to get him in the 3rd round, similar to Isaac Tesla. So it could be a situation to where he's going to get every chance to do his thing before we get rid of him for those reasons. Because a lot of times people get held for a hint longer just because of how they got to the team. So, but all that said, I don't think the Detroit Lions are the type of organization that would just keep him for that reason. He is going to have to perform, but I'm looking for him to do just that. But he's a guy, when I say controversial, I don't mean with me and you. I mean with the people that are on X saying that he should have already been cut. He's terrible, worst player in the league, yada, yada, yada. So it yet remains to be seen. That's why I'm looking forward to seeing him in training camp, because I think he does got a lot to offer. And the dude can run. That's one of the things that jumped off when I saw him, the first few reps of that 24. I was like, man, for a freaking 340-pound, 6'5" man, he can run. Like, I seen him run out to a bubble screen, and he was hustling. So it was impressive to me, man. He's an athlete. He's strong. He's powerful. Hopefully he can put it all together. But that's not my real guy. Do you got another guy, Steve, or you want me to go into my real guy that I'm looking forward to seeing in training camp?
Yeah, I look forward to seeing Broadic Martin run too. Like, he always looks real good running up the tunnel right before halftime while he's in sweats and everyone else is in pads. But
the change.
I always like to watch battles who I think is going to win a job, and I'm a little upset with you, Will. You mentioned Isaac Tesla, because that's who I've got my eyes on. I'm looking forward to that battle with him and Tim Patrick to see who comes out. Also, shout out to Isaac, signed his contract today. He is officially a Detroit Lion. Put ink to paper, so he's officially, his contract's done. He doesn't have any issues or anything like that. No holdouts. I don't even know how you can hold out, because I'm pretty sure the CBA, states pretty clearly what rookies get and then what picks. So I know that there's a guy in Cincinnati who's not happy with his current deal as a rookie. So Shamar Stewart, we might have dodged a bullet there. So also maybe do an episode on that, some dodged bullets from the NFL draft. But Tesla signed his contract today. I was very high on him when we drafted him. Once I started seeing that we had visits, he really, really popped up on my radar. I look at a kid who's 6'4", 4.4 speed, sure hands, played at a not very offensive powerhouse in the SEC in Arkansas. So I'm looking to see what he can do with better quarterback play, better receivers around him, better players around him. I think he could be a sneaky, sneaky good player for the Detroit Lions. I'm looking for Tim Patrick to see how he responds, because I think that's who's going to be battling for that job, who's going to be wide receiver 3. And I'm not getting into another year of wide receiver 3 battles and people saying that Khalif Raymond is wide receiver 3, because I just don't think he is. He can play wide receiver, but I don't think he's the third best option whenever he's on the field. And he's a hell of a punt returner. He can do a lot of things, but Tesla, I think he's one of those kids that could be one of our wide receivers for the future. Like, I don't think Amon-Ra St. Brown, his very first season, a lot of people thought he'd be turning into an all-pro like he did. And I'm not saying that with Isaac, but, I see some similarities, Will. I think if he just cleans up some of his route running and footwork, you're the words guy. What's the proper terminology there, Will?
Footwork.
If he cleans that up, I think he's going to be damn good. I think that's really the only thing I would really knock on him. So I like to watch rookies too. I like to see how they come from college. I know we have a thing for drafting players from mostly big colleges who, see tougher competition than most people. I know we have a couple guys sprinkled in here or there, but coming from our Arkansas, playing in the SEC, like he's seen the best of the best. So I'm seeing how that translates from college to the NFL. So he's definitely someone I'm going to be watching.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him too, man. I have a little bit of a longer road than a lot of people have for him, but I think we're going to the same place. I think he makes it.
Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, pump the brakes on Canton. Hey, he's going to go get a Lombardi trophy with his boys. I'll tell you that. And I think he's gonna play a key role in doing that. He's gonna have a nice role, nice big body receiver. That comes in clutch when you need him. That's all I'm looking for from him. I'm not looking for him to be a premier guy. And I think that's going to be, I've said it already, I think that's going to feed into the financial responsibility piece. What they got is a phenomenal role player in him, and I'm excited for it. And it's funny when we mentioned him signing his contract. I mean, if there was one player that I wasn't worried about signing a contract, I think he probably would have played for the Detroit Lions for free. Like, I mean, this is a guy, everybody knows the story. I didn't know about the pullover though. Wore the Lions pullover to conceal the Lions custom jersey that he already had. So when he pulled the pullover off, already had the jersey on. I mean, it was he was meant to be a Detroit Lion, man. I'm excited cheering for this guy, man. I know I wasn't as high on him as a lot of people were, but let's not get it twisted. I think this dude is going to be a guy that helps us. But I do think there's a longer road than a lot of people think. I think we're looking at probably a 2-year situation. He's going to have to learn the NFL, learn to deal with press man. But the great thing about him being in Detroit is they're going to be focused on everybody but him.
Yeah.
They're gonna be worried about our running game. They're gonna be worried about Sam Laporta. They're gonna be worried about J-Mo. They're gonna be worried about St. Brown. Like, he's gonna be very low on the list of people's worry when a DC is getting prepared to play the Detroit Lions. He is not gonna be very high in the scouting report. So I think that could work in his favor as well, man. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do, man. Michigan guy, man. Let's go.
I think that's the key is if he has a good start to the season and he pops up on some radars for some defensive coordinators that we're going to be going against, and now he's another name that comes up, like, well, how do you defend this team? Because we're going to punch you with Jahmyr Gibbs, and when he gets tired or needs a break, we're going to punch you with David Montgomery. You mentioned all the other guys, and then, oh, shit, there's a 6'4" rookie out here who runs a 4.4 and catches every football known to man. Like, how do we play defense against this Detroit Lions offense? Do we have 9 defensive backs and we only rush 2? Like, it's a nightmare. I wouldn't want to be a defensive coordinator going against the Detroit Lions. So I think if he has just some solid games, like if he's putting together like 4 catches, 60 yards, I think that's really all he needs to do. But I'm just looking at his rookie year. Just get your feet wet, get used to doing some stuff, contribute where you can. Just be another weapon and just make it hard for teams to game plan against us, because we're like a piece of paper, Will. We can cut you with 1,000 different types of ways and make a lot of different paper cuts. So I'm excited for him. Who else is on your radar?
One thing, the only way that you defend the Detroit Lions is if you're the DC for the opposing team, you beg them to run the football and not give the football back to us, because there's no real answers, man. We got weapons all over the place. But my main guy, man, Steve, that I'm excited to see through camp is Ennis Rakestraw. I am so excited to see Ennis Rakestraw because, number one, pick 61st, but I truly believe that he was on the Lions' radar to be taken in the first round. The stars aligned with Terrion. He got into a striking distance for us. So, Brad, he did what we say all the time. Go get your man. He got in striking distance and he went and got him. But I think Ennis, and we talked about it in the lead up to last year's draft, how it was rumored that the Lions really liked Ennis Rakestraw and he could potentially be our pick in the first round. I think what happened was we got to that second round. It wasn't Brad's plan to take 2 corners, but he had a first round rated corner sitting there at pick 61. And he said, I have to take him. I have to. And last year through camp, I didn't make it to camp last year, but there was people saying that Ennis looked stickier than Terrion did through camp. He is tweeted out this offseason. He's going to surprise some folks this year, and he's been working his butt off. He talked about preparing his body. The only knock that I had on Ennis Rakestraw coming out of the draft or coming out of college was his injury history. But his injury history isn't that crazy. But when I look at it, so we start his first year, he started 10 football games at Mizzou. All right, then we go to 2021 ACL injury, right? Missed most of the season. All right, then we go to 2023, had a groin injury, missed 4 games. All right, so it's going to the Detroit Lions, right? He came in with a hernia injury, then had a hamstring injury, then spent some time on IR last year. I truly hope that he gets the opportunity to get his body healthy. Now, he played 2 almost full seasons in college. That makes me believe that he has the potential to be able to be durable enough to get through an NFL season if he prepares his body the right way. Now, all of the injury stuff out of the way, this dude is a Detroit Lion. When you watch this kid play football, he reminds me of somebody that I wanted real bad. And he was talked about in one of his interviews leading up to the draft that the guy that was interviewing reminded him of Devin Witherspoon, who, I was pounding the table for him with Brian Branch that draft. He gets physical. Even though he's only 5'11", 180 pounds, he tackles and plays the game physical. He reminds me of Amik Robertson, and you're going to see him juiced up, just energy. He makes a play. He's standing over the guy. He's pumping up the crowd. He is a Detroit Lion, tough, gritty, physical corner. I think of like Scary Terry when he came to Detroit and he was catching bubble screens on Kendall Vildor after Amik went out and doing his thing, dancing around, and Kendall was getting blocked. He's not the guy that's going to get blocked on bubbles. A lot of his college football plays, you can see him shedding blocks, making plays. And what do you see in the NFL from a lot of these teams? You see RPO, you see read. It's putting those corners in limbo. Are we going to run it? Are you going to come up in a run game, or are we going to throw a bubble slant? You know what I mean? He's a guy that can play that stuff. He's tough. He's physical. He's gritty. I think look out for him, because when I look at we got a deep secondary, Steve, but when I look at that secondary, Deshae Townsend has came out, and Coach Shep said that they're going to give Ennis a strong look at outside corner. I think that's exactly where he should get a look, because there's a reason why Kendall Vildor has been on the field the past 2 seasons. If a guy gets banged up, it's next man up. Next man up now will be Ennis Rakestraw. So I think we're going to be looking at DJ Reed, Terry and Arnold, but the next man up we're going to lean on him at some point. It's going to be Ennis Rakestraw. If he shows up, it's going to be a problem for the NFL, because we might not miss a beat. If we're talking about somebody who is comparable to a Terry and Arnold or DJ Reed, somebody who's a starting caliber, understood the speed of the game, or got a taste of the speed of the game last year, coming in sophomore season, bigger, faster, stronger, body more prepared, it'll be huge for the Detroit Lions.
William, I'll tell you exactly why Kendall Vildor got on the field last year. Do you want to know the answer?
I do.
It's because your son doesn't have a phone, and the Detroit Lions didn't have his number to get him to the game.
Anybody else?
Little Will, what is he, 6 years old? Like, I'd take him over Kendall Vildor. Like, what are we talking about? Lions. First of all, Will, you got to get that kid a phone so that he has access to when he gets called up, because he's going to play better than Kendall Vildor. It's just I've seen him run with an iPad in his hand. He's uncatchable. All right, nobody's getting away from him. Solid name. Wasn't exactly on my radar, but I mean, not someone I forgot about. I think he could come into camp and he could shuffle up the secondary quite a bit. Is he going to play outside? Is he going to compete for nickel? Is he going to play a little safety? Like he could really be a wild card for us. And we talked about how our safety room isn't the deepest. I would like to see him maybe get some reps there. If something were to happen to Kirby or Brian Branch, maybe I know we talked about Terrion Arnold. He played some safety at Alabama, but if Terrion's playing really good corner and Ennis needs a place to play, and he's beating his chest to get on the football field, how do you keep him off? Maybe if it's an injury in a place where we really don't expect, maybe it's safety. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but he's going to compete for a lot of different jobs: corner, safety, nickel, cornerback 1, cornerback 2. Is he a guy that you can just throw out there who maybe he matches up with another team's wide receiver better than someone we have? Like, he could really be an ace up our sleeve this year. So I'm excited to see him play. That was our only knock on him when he was coming out of college, was he's not healthy. He's not available. Is that worth a first round pick when we haven't really seen him play a full college season? How's he going to play a full NFL season? So I think that's still kind of carried over, but he's got plenty of time to erase that and change some people's minds. I don't think I'm writing him off at all. I don't think many people are, but year 2, big year. Our secondary's loaded. We just signed DJ Reed. Amik Robertson's going to be coming back, who was playing good outside corner at the beginning of the year. What's going to happen with Terrion Arnold? I'm looking forward to that battle. Ennis Rakestraw, throw your name in the hat. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I tell you what, mentioning the safety room, man, I'm excited about Dan Jackson. I'm excited about him. Steve, you blew my mind. Yeah, go Dogs. You blew my mind, Steve, when you informed me that he ran 4.4 and not 4.5. And I know that probably doesn't seem like that much to a lot of people, but the way that he comes up and thumps people, the fact that he's running a 4.4, yeah, I'm excited, and I think that he's gonna be one of those guys similar to Ife Melifonwu. He just bothers Coach Shep. When Coach Shep watches film, he's just like, I gotta find a package for this dude. Like, I could see that out of him. Like, he's just making plays on special teams. He's just making plays at practice all the time, constantly going 100 miles an hour. Similar to Malcolm Rodriguez. It's like, hey, maybe you're not better than Kirby Joseph. Maybe you're not better than Brian Branch, but I got to get you on the field somehow. I got to do something, man. So maybe there's some type of, like, if he earned his package, man. Maybe there's some type of package for Dan Jackson, but he's another one, man. If that safety room, when we drafted Dan Jackson, and I really got a grasp on his story and breaking down his film, that safety room got a lot better to me with him and Avonte Maddox, because those are two guys that can play down into that box and they can be a problem, whether it's nickel, whether it's that hybrid linebacker safety type of role down and around in the box. I can guard a number 2 receiver. I can guard a tight end. I can come in and support the run game. That could be exciting, man. And I'm really looking forward to it. And it's not even just about the play for those guys. It's the mentality. When I think about what represents the Detroit Lions mentality, and then I start to think about a Meek, I think about Dan Jackson, I think about Kirby Joseph, I think about Brian Branch, I think about DJ Reed, I think about Terry and Arnold. Like it's Ennis Rakestraw. None of those guys are finesse corners that just want to run around and chase people, and they don't want to get their hands dirty. All of them are ready to be dirtbags. And I know we typically save that for our offensive line, but every one of those corners is down to get nasty. They're down to get nasty, man. I think that could be a difference, man. Our whole defense, there's nobody that I would really label on our defense as a finesse, pretty foo-foo. Alex Anzalone, no way. Jack Campbell, no way. Derek Barnes, no way. It's everybody on our defense is a tough, gritty, nasty, hard-nosed player. And for those reasons, I think our defense is going to be a little bit better than a lot of people are giving us credit for. Please, if Marcus Davenport messes around and stays healthy, I think, and maybe it's a hot take, but I think we're looking at a top 5 defense in the league.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think we have a lot of questions though, but it wouldn't be a training camp show, Will, with talking about excitement and wanting to see without mentioning Hendon Hooker. It wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be a complete show. I was reading an article from Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press, the other day. An interview with Mark Burnell was talking about how he's excited. He's glad that the Detroit Lions have that 4th preseason game. That's more Hendon Hooker time. This is like last year was a big year for Hendon, kind of his first year not being hurt, having a full off season to do practices and all that stuff. No knee injury like he had his rookie year. So that was a big year for him, just getting on the field and getting some reps in a real game. I know preseason, but this year, full dose of Hendon Hooker. Same thing with Jared Goff. Put him in a red jersey, put him in bubble wrap. Don't need to see him. Don't need to see him in preseason games, just some practices. Don't touch him. Don't hit him. Don't even look at his direction. We can't afford to lose him. But Hendon Hooker, let's get a better look at him. 4 preseason games. I think the Detroit Lions just announced their official preseason schedule today. I know we have the Chargers of the Hall of Fame game. I'll be at that. And I think we have the Dolphins, the Falcons, and I'm drawing a blank on the 4th one. But I know we have 4 preseason games, so I expect a full dose of Kyle Allen, Hendon Hooker. But mostly, I'm interested in Hendon Hooker. I already know how you feel about him, but your thoughts? How you feeling, Will?
Hendon Hooker for me, I want him to create a pretend QB controversy. And what I mean by pretend QB controversy is this. There's not going to be any QB controversy in Detroit.
Someone's going to twist your words is what I was hitting at. Oh, the Texans. That's our 4th game. Texans preseason.
Yeah, there's not going to be any QB controversy in Detroit. The Lions know who their quarterback is. There's no questions there, and I think that we without question we have a top 10 quarterback. Now, some people are saying top 5, and I don't know that that's the case, but we got a doggone good quarterback. Does he have his shortcomings? Yeah, but nobody is perfect, man. But I want Hendon Hooker to play so well that fans start to create a little bit of buzz, a little bit of controversy. I don't think the Detroit Lions will hear it, but that to me would mean he took a step forward. I listened to Coach Mark Brunell talk about him, and he said he has every tool that you need to be a big-time quarterback in this league, but a lot of people have that. You have to be consistent, and that's what I'm looking for out of him. Consistency. You can't make phenomenal plays and then sail a ball and let it end up being an interception. You have to be a guy that we can trust. Say what you want about Jared Goff, and I don't mean you, I just mean people in general. I know exactly what I'm going to get out of Jared Goff, and I think that he is enough to win a Super Bowl. I don't think that he's the reason why we win a Super Bowl. I don't think that he just shows up, put the team on his back, and leads us through a playoff run to go get a Super Bowl. But I think he could be a major piece in us winning a Super Bowl, and don't let him mess around and get hot. When he gets hot, he's an absolute sniper. He's putting the ball in crazy windows. The ball's coming out on time. He's just an assassin, man. But unfortunately, when he gets cold, he gets cold. when he makes a mistake, he makes big mistakes, and he makes them in bunches. So
I can think of a game in early January where he was pretty cold.
Freezing cold.
Yeah, in a dome stadium too.
You're right. Unfortunately. So it's that's the bottom line for him, man. So again, there won't be a QB controversy, but Hendon Hooker can get into the conversation, and then maybe we're looking at something next season, or the Lions are trying to decipher what they do moving forward. But it starts with Hendon Hooker being a dominant number 2. Guys like Kyle Allen knowing that, hey, I'm not even in this conversation. I'm basically just here as a coach.
You're the emergency.
Right. So that's what I'm looking for out of Hendon Hooker. Just have a great preseason. Try not to get concussed, man, because like I thought it was pretty cool that run that he had where he ran the guy over, but don't be running guys over, man. That's not what we ask you to do. Let David Montgomery do that. That's not what we need you to do. Make your play, make your cute little juke moves, and then get down. That's what we need quarterbacks to do. Be available. But make it a controversy with the fans. Let's get a little bit of buzz going, because right now, Hendon Hooker, he's not even in the QB conversation. And I know there's some Hendon Hooker lovers out there, and I don't hate the guy. I think the guy's got all the tools as well, but he has done nothing to be in the Detroit starting quarterback conversation. That's where I stand on him.
Depends on who you ask, Will, because I remember a couple years ago when Hendon Hooker got cleared for practice, I think it was roughly 7 minutes later, there was people saying that he should start the following week. So maybe there is more of a QB controversy than we know about out there. Maybe the Detroit Lions are listening, and they're saying if Jared Goff throws one ball in the dirt, we're bringing in Hendon Hooker. I think that's where a lot of people are with Jared Goff, not me. I've kind of been a hater on Jared Goff this offseason, but I've always said I'm on the fence. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I understand that he's our quarterback, and that's who's going to be our quarterback for the next 2-3 seasons. I want to see what Hendon Hooker has, because we won. I kind of thought he was going to get traded during the draft or around that time. 2, he doesn't have a lot of time left on his contract, so we need to figure out what we're going to be doing with him, because his contract and Jared Goff's, they don't end at the same time. They don't overlap. Like, I think this is Hendon's last year, so it's going to be decision time. So this is really him to either audition for the Detroit Lions or for another NFL team. So maybe there's some value. Maybe there's something that happens at the trade deadline and he's part of a package. I don't know, but I want to get a good look at him for the Detroit Lions standpoint to see what he has, because he was really the only thing that was interesting to me in training camp and preseason last year, watching those games. Like, I wanted to see more Hendon Hooker, and then, he went out against the Giants and absolutely trucked someone and got his bell rung pretty good and didn't play the rest of the game. So can't have a preseason conversation without talking about Hendon Hooker. We know what we got on offense. We know who our quarterback is. What do we have in a backup? Let's see what happens if Jared Goff sprains his pinky finger and he can't grip a football or something, and Hendon has to come in for a week or two. Can he win us 2 games on this schedule? Because the schedule is absolutely brutal. So I don't know. That's a question. We'll get a better look at him in a couple of weeks here. I think training camp's I don't think there's an official date, but I would expect about 5-6 weeks from now. So we're inching closer to that finish line, where we're going to have some football on our TVs.
Yep. You going to make it to any training camp days this year?
I'll have to see when they announce the camp dates. I know they have some special practices for just season ticket holders. We went to a couple last year, and we went to one the year before. If you can stand out in that blistering hot sun, it's a fun time for kids. Get some autographs, some merchandise, meet some Lions fans. It's a good time. If you haven't been, try to get up there. Tickets for training camp are usually pretty cheap too. So once the schedule comes out, I'll know. But I'd like to make at least one. You gonna make it?
Yeah, I'll definitely be out to at least one, and then maybe, Steve, I don't know. They put the practice tickets out to season ticket holders. Maybe we grab a couple of those, man, and maybe we put those on Detroit Den 313.
Maybe. And as we sit, you got anything else for tonight?
Oh, that's it, man.
Our Super Den members sit at 17. We got a couple upgrades. Dwayne Fulmer, Trickster BIMI. I know you upgraded yours as well. So we got a couple of people who have upgraded. We sit at 17. Once we hit 30, we have for sure at least one helmet. I'm looking at it right now. That's one that my wife got. I'm not going to say whose it is or who the player is, but it's a good one. And if Teresa Ruckel doesn't reach out to me, if we hit 30, make me make a tough decision, and we'll see if I have to redraw this thing or how much time I'm going to give her. I don't know, but it's already been 7 days, so I'm not rushing her. But reach out to me, Teresa. You're a member. Watch our show. Give me your address. I'll ship to you this helmet. I know there's a lot of people who are – I saw someone who commented and said, I'm Hawaiian and my name translates to Teresa Ruckel. So there's people who want this helmet. Let's figure something out, but make me make a tough decision. Stick around. Hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.